Hello everybody, wherever you are and whenever you are. We're back here with another deck tech with a different little bit of a spin on the blue-white Miracles archetype for the modern format. Sorry for the radio silence last week. I did not get a chance to sit down and record on the last weekend like I typically do. So I'll usually do that and then kind of trickle the league recordings out one day at a time just to try and keep a steady stream of content going for everyone out there. But I did not get a chance to do that last weekend, and unfortunately work was just absolutely insane this week, so I do apologize for not getting back to some of the comments as quick as I usually would have liked to, or for producing any content. So, sorry about that, but try and keep to a normal release schedule kind of moving forward here. So, this is a little spin on the Miracles deck that I've been wanting to do. So, as I've kind of said in some of the last leagues where we've been playing Terminus in our decks, is that I feel like in just about every game I play, I just think to myself, like, man, I just really wish I had a Terminus right now. Like, I need one immediately to stay in the game. So, we're going to be testing out some telling times in this build here. Just want to see how this card performs. You know, you can use it to dig a bit on the end step to try and set up a Terminus for the next turn. Unfortunately, you cannot use this to activate Terminus on your own turn. Since you don't actually draw cards with Telling Time, you put them into your hand, and there is, of course, a rules distinction to be made there. The base of this, I pretty much took our Luis Salvato Miracles deck as kind of like the base here. And I just put a few tweaks in it just to kind of to make it my own a little bit, maybe adapt it for the meta a little. For example, we took out the Crucible of Worlds and the Ghost Quarter, and instead I replaced it with an Irrigated Farmland, just to give us another colored source for casting our spells, and also another cantrip to maybe use to set up a Terminus on our opponent's turn. There is one additional planes here, just right at the bottom, that you can't see, and I especially wanted the 3 planes because we're going to be trying a Peck card of mine out in White Sun's Zenith. So, White Sun's Zenith was the win condition in Esper Draw Go, back when I used to play that deck, several years ago now. It's a really interesting card. So, you create, of course, the X, 2/2 White Cat creature tokens, and then an interesting little bit of text is that you then shuffle White Sun's Zenith back into your own library. So, this card, like Teferi, also prevents us from decking, but it's also kind of unique in the way that it can be cast maybe in like the mid-game to create blockers, but then it almost ends the game on the spot when you cast it in the late game when you've got 8 to 10 lands in play. And that's kind of what I was looking for. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've been really busy, so I'm a little unplugged from the modern meta right now, but I'm sure if it's anything like if it's still like what we've seen in the past couple leagues we've played, I'm sure that the graveyard is currently also still being abused, and there's a lot of really fast linear decks just trying to enact their game plan and kind of steamroll you. So I kind of wanted a card that just ends the game on the spot when you cast it. And so that's why I want to test this White Sun Zenith, just to see what it does. Because again, Esper Control used to use it pretty effectively to win the game, and so I just want to see what it does, you know, in this current metagame. Other than that, the deck is fairly stock. We have our removal spells in our early game interaction. I'm also trying out a Runed Halo, since it seems like some big parts of the metagame are either in like an aggro deck, like humans, or humans or spirits, or even people trying to just belch out a bunch of hollow ones, or Arclight Phoenix, and things like that. Because I know the Phoenix decks are evolving, and some of them are starting to play like Crackling Drake. So Rest in Peace is no longer a knockout punch against those type of decks. So I have one in the main deck, and also one in the sideboard. We'll get to that in a minute. But other than that, again, the deck's pretty stock. We got our 3 Cryptics. We got a single D-Sphere. So I did shave down to 1 Teferi to make room for the White Sun Zenith. We got our 3 Jace to help set up our Terminus and help stabilize the board. And just to go back to Zenith for one minute here, is that it seems to me like my take on how these decks operated recently, especially when Miracles was kind of at the height of its power in Modern for the whole month or whatever that it was up there, is it seemed like the deck tried to maneuver the game into a place where you could land a Jace plus Teferi, and then kind of put like a soft block on your opponent, just and try and like hold them in headlock long enough that you can kind of just finish the game off either with Colonnades or with a Planeswalker ultimate. And I don't know, that doesn't feel like a very effective thing to me to be doing in Modern. So that's also, like I said, I just want a card that says, yep, we're done playing Magic here. Here's 14 power at instant speed on your end step, and then I'm going to untap and I'm going to maul you with these cats. So we're gonna give that a spin and see what it can do. Obviously, it's a little clunky, but I mean, even if you can just cast it for 4, it creates a single blocker, and then it just goes back into your deck for later. So, and if I didn't mention, that's of course why there's one more Plains down here. I want the 3rd Plains to be able to cast that card just in case. And getting rid of the Ghost Quarter for the farmland also gives us one more white source to try and hit that triple white requirement. So that's pretty much the main deck. Like I said, just want to fool around with a couple cards, cards that I enjoy playing with. So go over to the sideboard. Pretty standard. I traded in the Porphyry Nodes for the Supreme Verdict just because there are definitely cases where that card is a little slow to get going. And it's nice to have another non-terminus sweeper that we can bring in against humans and other things like that. We've got our Angel duo, additional timely reinforcements in the sideboard, and as I mentioned, another Runed Halo, our standard white enchantment hate package, Celestial Purge, just to take care of those really obnoxious permanents that control decks don't like to see. Some additional counter magic, and of course Vendilion Clique for our Tron and or combo games. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and run this through League and see what happens. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the first match.